Superior Spider-Man rolls along in Superior Spider-Man Team Up number 1.
We get some pulp friction with the Rocketeer and The Spirit Team Up number 1.
And we check in with our favourite speedster in The Flash number 22. Okay, so last week we talked about Superior Carnage. These, I mean, they're doing good for us, bringing out these number 1s when there hasn't been much else out. We're talking about another Superior Spider-Man book this week. It's called Superior Spider-Man Team Up number 1. I believe it is a new ongoing.
Basically there was Avenging Spider-Man, which came out monthly, and that was a team-up book. And I suppose for Superior Spider-Man, they're rebranding and going from number 1 again.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's by Chris Yost writing it, David Lopez penciling it. I knew nothing about this book going in. I'm assuming you didn't either.
Not really, no.
What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those kind of books where they've gone, right, it's a number 1, needs to do something quite big. So who's the first person they can team him up with? Well, who are the first people? Let's just throw in all the Avengers. You get a nice little twist at the start and end. You know, you're thinking, what's Spider-Man doing? Because it's still the Otto Octavius Spider-Man, so he's going around doing some stuff, and you're like, that's not right. And then it all explains itself, and it explains itself in that same kind of tongue-in-cheek way that the Superior Spider-Man has, you know, the way that he just dismisses the Avengers like they're nothing. When Captain America's like, so about that probation period, and he's like, oh, you're being serious about that? Okay, well, when the world needs saving again, just let me know. Bye.
No, have you been serious about that? Adorable.
Oh, yeah, that was it. It has such its own tone of voice. I love the new costume. I hadn't seen it yet.
Because we're traders.
Yeah, reading it in trade. So I hadn't seen the new Spider-Man costume, and I really like the mix of the red and black. It's really great for the new kind of attitude of Spider-Man. It looks pretty nice in some panels. Other ones, maybe not so. Like, there's just a kind of lack of detail where there should be detail, like on Captain America's helmet and maybe some of the facial expressions, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Great twist at the ending. And I think definitely one to pick up if you want a Spider-Man book to read.
I'm going to go further than that.
Oh.
I loved this.
I loved it.
Loved this. Like, I can't even believe how much I enjoyed this book. Like, I thought it was...
Cloak and Dagger bit at the start.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It is the funniest book I've read in a long time. That includes Deadpool. Like, I was just so happy to be reading this. I think it looked great. Like, there isn't a lot of...
I don't think it looked great.
The colouring is perfect for it. There isn't a lot of detail, but it works. Like, with the FF show up for a panel, and they look fantastic.
For the most part, I think it's fine. Let me just clarify for the most part. But, like, there's just a couple of drawings of Captain America towards the end where I'm just kind of like...
Yeah, perhaps the close-up faces.
Yeah.
But it was written so well, so funny. Hawkeye was funny. Everyone made me laugh in this book.
The two non-superhumans protecting me.
Yeah,
good.
Like
that makes me feel safe.
He is writing the Otto Spider-Man just as well as Dan Slott. And I can't wait to read more of this. I can't wait to read more. This was such a surprise. And you know what, this
Superior Spider-Man is knocking it out the park. First Carnage.
It would never be anything I would have ever looked at. Like, you would have saw this event in the calendar and thought, oh God, just calm down. But they've been fantastic.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Great job, guys. Cool. So the next book we're going to talk about is a team-up book between IDW and DC Comics. Who owns which? IDW, Rocketeer, Spirit, DC Comics?
I don't know. Spirit is Eisner.
Yeah.
There was a Rocketeer book. Was that
I'm pretty sure it's
IDW?
IDW, yeah.
So DC must own
I assume
Spirit,
so. So this is a team-up book between the two of them. It's written by Mark Waid. It is printed on that wonderful IDW paper, which I'm sure Dan's going to have something to talk about. And yeah, this is just the first encounter between the two characters as they're both trying to solve a murder mystery at the same time. Dan, what do you think of the Rocketeer and the Spirit?
I liked it, and I suspect you're gonna like it a lot more than I did. It was very, very you, I felt, whilst reading it. But, you know, it is exactly what you would expect. It's like it's period. It's drawn in a nice sort of
60s
Darwin Cookian kind of style.
He does a couple of the variant covers.
Yeah, I get
no
that. It's sort of
surprise.
a new frontier kind of feel about it. The coloring's gorgeous. Yes, the pages are gorgeous. The book is, you know, it's funny. It's charming. It didn't absolutely knock my socks off. Like, it didn't. You know, I've no great urge to read more because I kind of think, oh, I get it now. Superior Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, there's so many different stories, so many ways they could go. I wouldn't ever know what was coming next. With this, I'm like, I kind of get it.
Cool.
I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not sure if I will buy the trade, but like, you know, it's like we always say, you think you're gonna like this, you probably will. It looks gorgeous. Like, these panels I'd have on my wall. So, you know, if you pay for this, you absolutely can't go wrong with it, especially if you like these characters.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I've never read anything of either of these characters, actually.
I've read some of The Spirit. I've never read Rocketeer.
Yeah, Rocketeer, if I'm not mistaken, was a film first, and then I think so. So I think that's quite cool. There was a moment in this, and that's just why I'm flicking through, that really made me laugh. Just because I think it was a bit of casual racism just brought in there. They're talking about the cars arrived and there's no driver, and he says, just because Ebony couldn't join us doesn't mean we don't have a driver. I was just like, what? It just made me laugh so much. You know, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor at the time.
It is, and it's written in a sort of oldie way, the way they speak, and I'll check that out now and stuff like that. But it's very, very soft.
Yeah, they do a whole right at the start when the Spirit's talking, they spell out like LAPD, so you have to read it out in a certain way, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, Mark Waid does a great job writing this
It's
book.
very strange seeing this. I know you haven't read much or any Spirit, but it's very strange seeing the book with the Spirit in it, not drawn and written by Eisner, because this feels nothing like the Spirit, with the exception of the fact that they have the character. Spirit's very atypical. It's very creative. It's all about playing with the medium and stuff like that, which this isn't. So it really is just the character. It doesn't feel like Eisner at all.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's still a fun ride.
Yeah, this so much fun. You're right. I loved it, and I will be picking it up in trade when it does eventually come out, because it was great.
So the last bit was, we thought we'd check in with the Flash. We have said on the show before that we love Francis Manapul's art. His artwork was some of, if not the best artwork at the start of the New 52. It was creative. It was interesting. It was different.
I also don't think there's anyone better drawing who's ever drawn the Flash than Francis Manapul for me.
I mean, I haven't read much Flash, but I could probably agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, they are so beautiful, those first books. But we had a problem with the writing. One of the things you get when you've got a writer-artist, which we have in this case for the most part, is that you get these creative panel layouts and things like that. But if they're not necessarily tried and tested writers, sometimes the stories can end up feeling a bit flat. We did sort of jump on here at part 3 of an arc, but it does explain quite...
They explain it very quickly what's going on.
First page, you sort of know what's going on. So, how do you feel about The Flash? I don't know, like 15 issues after you stopped reading it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I last read it, and it was a nice, refreshing pickup for The Flash for me. I'm pretty sure it's a new colorist on the book, and it really does show. The tones in the book feel, for the most part, a lot darker, almost more painted than comic book drawn for me. You know, you get panels like this. This is the first story arc with Reverse Flash in it. Don't know how I feel about him as a villain. I never read him before.
Stupid name.
Reverse Flash is a very stupid name. I think, didn't they start calling him Zoom at one point, just as a kind of... Is it that much worse? I think it's probably better than Reverse Flash.
Zoom. That's not very menacing, is it? Oh, it's Zoom.
If you say it to somebody, you're like, no, it's Zoom.
Well, you wouldn't have that much time, would you?
Yeah, that's very true. You'd be like, zoom, zoom. Anyway, we've gone off topic. Yeah, this book's beautiful. I think the writing's picked up a fair bit since we last clocked in. Still not fantastic. And this book just didn't feel as dynamic as it used to. There's just a certain kinetic energy that felt lost in this. And you know what a big problem of it was? I didn't get my beautiful splash page.
Splash because part 3.
I don't care. I don't care what
part
part
1
you're
of a
on.
new story. You get your splash.
No, I don't care what part we're on. I got a splash page every book when I was reading The Flash first time round, and I still want it. But by the way, fantastic cover. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, no, I did enjoy it. I think the writing has picked up, although it's still not perfect, and more splash pages.
I feel about this exactly the same as I did when I dropped it.
Yeah.
Just that if I had an unlimited budget, I'd buy The Flash every week because I just love looking at it.
Yeah.
As soon as I turned that splash, I was like, oh. But the writing is still the same for me. It's, the first page, it was like, well, this is good because it's letting me know what happens, but that never drops. Like, we get this villain thing, and this villain talks like every villain you've ever heard talk, ever. Just saying his plan out, well, not out loud, but to you in his head, and his motivations and his drives, and where he's gone wrong and where he's coming from. It's fuck off. Like, are you serious here? And it's just reading, and it just never stops. And then Barry Allen, we get a bit of it. Oh, where he's coming from, how he's feeling, and it's just, Francis Manapul, God, I love his artwork, and I love the way his comics look, but I have no interest in the stories he tells.
Writer, yeah.
Like, if there was just another writer on this book, but then maybe would it be as dynamic? So, I don't know. I feel exactly the same about this. The writing is lacking, but God, is it beautiful. I can stare at it all day.
Yeah. Okay, so that'll do us for today. Tell us what books you read this week, because it was a bit of an odd week. So let us know down in the comments, also on Twitter, @ComicBookShow1.
And don't forget to join us on Wednesday, where we will have for you our review of the Wolverine.
And then you can join us on Friday, where we're talking a big issue.
We will see you then.
See you.